Why Australians can't save money in 2026. Every time you start to get ahead financially, something wipes you out. Rent goes up, groceries cost more, a rate hike hits, and suddenly that savings goal you've been working toward is gone again. If that sounds familiar, you are not failing. The system is just genuinely harder than it's ever been. And in this video, I'm going to prove that with real data and then give you the 3 structural fixes that actually work, not generic advice like cut your coffee. The reality, let's look at the actual numbers. Let's start with the facts because this isn't just a feeling. Inflation has re-accelerated to 3.8% annually as of January 2026, well above the Reserve Bank's 2 to 3% target. The wage price index rose just 3.4% in the year to December 2025, barely keeping pace with headline inflation and falling well short of increases in housing, energy, and food. Read that again. Wages went up 3.4%, but the things you actually buy, housing, energy, food, went up faster. In real terms, your pay cut is happening silently every single month. The RBA has hiked the cash rate twice in 2026, pushing mortgage repayments higher and reducing household borrowing capacity. Even full-time employed Australians are now reporting that their salaries can't keep up with rising costs. Childcare, transport, and food expenses are eating into income, leaving little to no savings. So if you're working full-time and still feel broke, that is not a personal failure. That is the economic reality of Australia in 2026. The 3 real reasons Australians can't save, but understanding why this is happening structurally, not just emotionally, is how you start to fix it. Reason 1, housing is eating. Rising costs in essential areas, food, housing, energy, and healthcare, are forcing Australians to make tough choices. These categories represent the largest portion of household budgets, making the impact particularly acute for lower and middle income families. The average new home loan in Australia right now is $736,000. At 5.5% interest, that's $4,180 per month in repayments before you've bought a single grocery item. And for renters, it's no better. Rent prices are rising faster than wages. People are rethinking where they live, and younger Australians are putting off major life decisions because of housing affordability. When 40 to 50% of your take-home pay is going to housing before anything else, saving feels impossible, because mathematically, it nearly is. Reason 2, lifestyle creep, the invisible savings killer. This one is on us, and most people don't see it happening. Every time your income goes up, subscriptions, dining out, upgrades, your spending rises with it. It feels normal. It feels earned. But lifestyle creep is one of the biggest reasons people earning $90,000, $120,000, even $150,000 a year still have almost nothing saved. The most dangerous words in personal finance are, "I'll start saving properly when I earn a bit more." That day never comes, because more income almost always creates more spending unless you set up a system that prevents it. Reason 3, your savings account is losing you money. Most Australians have their savings sitting in a Big 4 bank account, earning 1% interest or less. Meanwhile, inflation is running at 3.8%. That means every year your savings sit there, they are effectively losing purchasing power. You are going backwards in real terms without even realizing it. The highest savings account rate on the market right now is 5.65%, but it's an introductory rate for 4 months, then reverts to around 3.95%. Ongoing bonus rates for accounts you can actually use every month typically sit between 4.75% and 5%. If you're earning less than that on your savings, you are actively losing ground. The 3 fixes that actually work. Now, the part that actually matters. Here are the 3 structural fixes. Fix 1. Automate your savings before you spend. The number one savings mistake Australians make is saving whatever is left at the end of the month. Spoiler, there is never anything left. The fix is dead simple. Set up an automatic transfer on Payday. The moment your salary hits, a set amount moves to a separate savings account before you see it or touch it. Even $200 a week is $10,400 a year. Even $100 a week is $5,200. This is the single most powerful savings behavior change you can make, and it takes 10 minutes to set up. Start with whatever feels slightly uncomfortable. Not impossible, just uncomfortable. Fix 2. Switch to a high-interest savings account today. If your money is sitting in a Big 4 bank, earning under 2%, you are literally donating money to the bank. The RBA's decision to raise the cash rate to 4.10% in March 2026 has pushed savings account interest rates to levels not seen since before the global financial crisis. Right now, you can earn 4.75 to 5% ongoing on a good high-interest savings account as long as you meet simple monthly conditions like depositing a set amount and not withdrawing. On $20,000 in savings, that's the difference between $400 a year at 2% and $1,000 a year at 5%. For doing absolutely nothing differently except switching accounts. Check CanStar or Finder today and compare accounts. It takes 15 minutes and costs you nothing. One important caveat: if you have a mortgage, an offset account may actually be more valuable than a high-interest savings account. Interest earned on a savings account is taxable, but money in an offset account reduces your mortgage interest, which is not a taxable event. On $50,000 at 5.25% savings, you pay tax and net around $1,717. The same $50,000 in an offset against a 6.3% mortgage, you save $3,170 with no tax payable. So if you have a mortgage, put that money in your offset, not a savings account. Fix 3. Use the 50-30-20 budget as a starting point. You don't need a complicated budget. You need a framework you'll actually stick to. The 50-30-20 rule is simple. 50% of take-home pay goes to needs: rent, groceries, utilities, transport. 30% goes to wants: dining out, subscriptions, entertainment. 20% goes to savings and investing. On an $85,000 salary, take home of roughly $5,600 per month, $2,800 on needs, $1,680 on one's $1,120 automatically saved or invested. Now in 2026's cost of living environment, 50% on needs might not be realistic for renters in Sydney or Melbourne. If housing alone is eating 45 to 50%, you'll need to adjust. But the framework still works. Just shift the proportions until it's real for your situation. The key is having a number for each bucket, not a vague intention, an actual dollar amount. The mindset shift. Here's the final thing I want to leave you with. The cost of living crisis is real. The system is harder than it was 10 years ago. You are not imagining it, but there are still things within your control, and focusing on those is the only path forward. Automate your savings. Switch to a high-interest account. Use a simple budget framework. These aren't magic, but they compound over time. And compounding is the only thing that beats a broken system. Drop a comment below. Which of these 3 fixes are you going to try first? I read every single one. And next week, my final video in this series, how I'd build $700 a month in passive income as an Australian. Step by step, real numbers. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you then.